What's going on, family and friends? Welcome back to another exclusive live stream. We've got WanKyu Kim, the Chief Business Officer of Dcent, backstage. Now, before we begin, let's play one of those high stakes intros. Thanks for tuning in.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff.
Before I start that, you have to remember just one thing, not your key, not your crypto.
As soon as our mother and father are using these hardware wallets, you know that it's
It will be the time, yes.
It's mainstream. I'm a proud user and customer of the Dcent hardware wallet. I do use the Dcent hardware wallet to delegate one of my digital assets, specifically the Flare token.
The world's most advanced cold wallet for the new generation of cryptocurrency lovers, Dcent. Quickly verify full transaction details on large OLED display. Save valuable time using 4 buttons for fast operations. With Dcent's fingerprint authentication, transactions are made secure and convenient. Using Bluetooth communication, manage your assets anywhere and anytime. Based on multi-chip architecture, Dcent provides robust security to managing all your valuable assets. The world's most advanced cold wallet. Dcent.
Hey everyone, if you're enjoying the content and find value in what I'm sharing, I'd greatly appreciate it if you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support not only helps this channel grow, but ensures that you stay up to date on the latest and greatest content. Thanks for tuning in today and for spreading the word. Love you mucho. All righty. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another exclusive live stream. Today I have with me WanKyu Kim, the Chief Business Officer of Dcent. The parent company is actually known as IoTrust, but where WanKyu actually takes on and leads the global sales and marketing. WanKyu is a seasoned leader with over a decade of experience in the global semiconductors and security industry. He's now applying his expertise to the growing blockchain sector. WanKyu's mission is to drive the mass adoption of blockchain wallets, enabling seamless digital asset management for investors worldwide with his philosophy, which is deeply rooted in decentralization and self-custody, ensuring users maintain control over their assets with confidence. WanKyu, it's a pleasure to have you on my channel, sir. And it seems like time flies because it was just yesterday I was interviewing you at the XDC conference. If this rings a bell, I had a pleasure getting to know you, sir. So welcome back.
Yes, so thank you for having me. And I didn't know that you will just brought this interview that we had at the Texas Austin in last year at the XDC conference. But one thing I noticed is that I didn't change. I look exactly the same, except for some more white hairs.
Hey, you got white hair at least. Mine's just falling out.
Is there? So I think white hair is better than falling out. Yes.
That's for sure. Well, WanKyu, thank you for the laughs and the good vibes, sir. It's much appreciated. I've been very excited for this interview, and so is my community, because not only am I a proud user of Dcent's hardware wallets, but so are many of my community members. And I was hoping if we could just dive on in, because I know it's your day is just kicking off in, I believe, Korea. Mine's ending here shortly, and I got to get on the softball fields later today. So
Okay.
appreciate you tuning in. Let's dive on in. I was hoping, WanKyu, if you could tell us about the journey of IoTrust, the parent company of Dcent, from its inception in 2017 to becoming, well, now known as a baby unicorn by the Korean government.
Yes, so I think probably I need to give some comment about who we are and what is the sort of the mission that we had. But prior to that, probably let me just explain about what we have done and how we create Dcent Wallet under IoTrust. So IoTrust was founded in 2017 by the team who worked at the same company. So our CEO, Mr. Bag, was one of the founder of X company and led the division and commercialized the world first mobile payment in Korea that resulted in listing in the Kosdaq market. And followed by the success reference in major mobile operator in Korea. Number one player is SK Telecom, followed by the Korea Telecom. And he concurred another journey in security field in mobile phone, which is called TEE. If you're using the Android phone, and you will see the Knox, where user can store private information that will be encrypted. And
Okay.
X company was the second company who commercialized TEE in service in the world.
Okay.
And after he decided to set up his own company, there was a two criteria that he looked at it. The first one is a security, which we have core experience as well as a competency in over decades. And another one was the globalization. And with those two pillars, we decided to start our new journey under IoTrust to protect users' private information securely and cover in global market by the blockchain wallet. Although we are based in Korea and leading hardware wallet market in local, our global sales is bigger than the domestic sales.
Well, love to hear about your growth, domestic and globally. That I'd love for you to double click down on your path to globalization, and especially if you don't mind, really underscoring how the Korean government has already recognized you as a baby unicorn. And for those in the audience, that's a company with a valuation of $1 billion or greater. So this is not your average or not your small type of a fly by night company. Dcent is a global and well established biohardware metric wallet service provider. Let me know if I missed anything, WanKyu.
No, 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 no. You just made it very clearly that we were appointed by the Korean government as a baby unicorn for 2022,
Mhm.
and probably as you can see in my background, the two business segments are running in our growth. First one is the Dcent wallet as well as the Whipping, and these two business segments are targeted in different market. Dcent focus on the crypto native user for the digital management for the individual customer. We already classify as a B2C business,
Mhm.
while Whipping is targeting to bring more users into the Web3, globally classified as a B2B2C. In other words, that we are targeting all service customer for the Web2 era to use the Web3 service for the individual users.
So, do you mind highlighting what WePin is one more time,
Yes,
WanKyu?
so Whipping is the sort of the social login built-in app that
Okay.
runs inside of the service provider's app. So, which I am going to, I will have a chance to explain more about the Whipping, but this is a sort of another blockchain wallet that is going to be built in at your service provider. So
Ah,
you do not have to install this dedicated mobile app, because once they just, log in with the social login, your blockchain wallet is going to be created automatically.
wonderful. It sounds very seamless and should be an easy migration for those who are already using the Dcent hardware wallet. It sounds like if it's just a quick plug and play within the hardware.
That's
Now,
correct.
on in regards to IoTrust role in Web3, actually, I feel remiss if I didn't mention this though. In regards to that baby unicorn comment, I'm really hopeful that one day uh, we'll be able to see in full transparency. The last time that we had that interview, WanKyu, I was at the time I was wearing Link2's colors as an employee. Now now that I'm on my own, it's I'm here building my own channel, my own brand, obviously. But where I'm getting at is I would love, since I'm still a shareholder of Link2 and a big promoter of their brand, I'd love to see one day Dcent, as once it evolves into a full unicorn on a tech enabled investment platform like that. So it gives accredited investors around the world to potentially participate in the growth potential of.
Frankly speaking, one of my sort of the personal objective, hopefully that turns out in reality, is I like to list it in one of the Nasdaq markets sooner or later.
The Nasdaq market, or
Yep.
on that Link2's tech-enabled investment platform. Again, a shameless plug, but it would be just a wonderful for to further democratize the opportunity for people to potentially invest and sit on your cap table.
Yes.
Alrighty, moving on from the baby unicorn comment, and thank you again. I'd love to dive further into IoTrust's role in the Web3 environment. WanKyu, what role do you see IoTrust playing in the rapidly growing Web3 space, and how does Dcent align with this future vision of the Web3 metaverse movement?
All right. So before I explain about, how important the wallet is going to play a role in the blockchain, especially for the Web3 era, probably, let me just, give some very simple definition about the what is a Web3. Because I personally believe that Web3 is sort of the ownership of the IP.
Mm,
Because the Web 1, which is a very, very early stage, is classified as a read only because people can just, read the content at the internet. They cannot do anything. And then they evolve into the Web 2 where user can read and write. But in case that you do have a many contents like your channel, like a Ray, that you create so many content at the YouTube channel. But what if the YouTube decide to shut down your service? All the contents, such as an auto interactive property as well as all the marketing content, is going to be disappear without your approval. But when it Web3 comes in, that these all contents is going to be fully owned by yourself. So that is the definition of the Web3. So now, as you know, that many service providers in Web 2 are looking for implementing blockchain into the existing service. No doubt
mm.
about it. You already heard many service providers, Citibank or the financial institutions, as well as the enterprise such as a Boeing. And when they do that, they will understand the wallet will play the key role in Web3, where the wallet is going to be the first entry point for the blockchain service. And
I'm glad.
consequently,
I'm
yes.
oh, sorry to cut you off, but I'm glad you brought up Citibank. I'll be playing a clip, a advertisement from Citibank's website a little bit later on in this interview. So thanks for bringing up
No
Citibank.
problem.
Thank you.
Yes. So moving on, that this challenge arise at the service provider side, that which blockchain they have to use. And the next question is how they're going to connect any kind of wallet. Do they have to develop by their own, or do they have to connect with a third party wallet? Because
Mhm.
MetaMask is the most popular wallet and so many services are already connected. But from the service provider perspective, that they need to let their user to visit MetaMask site to manage their digital asset, which
Mm,
is not big favor or big fan of the user flow. So
mhm.
now service provider may decide to develop their own wallet, but they do not know how much resources are needed for developing and maintaining the wallet service without potential return that they would get. Because if you just look at the current market, when they do any kind of Web3 services, they are doing sort of airdrop, which is a sort of the free of charge. They don't get any sort of the capital return. So spending those resources to develop their own wallet is gonna be quite challenged by the upper management. So that
Yeah.
is the pain point that we already realized. And probably, although that we are selling or we are marketing for the Dcent wallet, which is a B2B2, I mean B2C business, and
Okay.
we learned that Dcent wallet is not also perfect fit for Web3 service, where massive user use the service without understanding about the blockchain as well as the wallet itself. So now let me just give an example that okay, when you just use a Dcent wallet for the Web3, they have to write down the 24 series phrase to
Mhm.
generate the wallet address to receive the airdrop. And you know that most of a Web2 user, like maybe my grandmother or my mother, and probably all other users that are not going to complete this journey because it is so complicated. That's why we develop another wallet service called as a Whippin that
Okay.
offers a social login, and this Whippin wallet will be built at your own service app. And Whippin will also support the multiple network that are currently available at the Dcent wallet. And for your reference, the Dcent wallet is currently supporting 64 chains as of now. And
Really?
overall, yes, 64. So there was a quite, I would say, sort of the improvement since we met. So overall, that we have to invite, all the newbies or newcomers into the Web3 basis service, and the lowering down. Indeed, that I have to say that we have to get rid of this complexity of the onboarding process has to be provided, and
Yeah.
Wipin could be and is the perfect fit for those Web3 services for Web2 companies. And
Love.
on top of yes, go
Oh no,
ahead.
I was gonna say I love to hear it. It sounds like and based upon you prior to this call, WanKyu, you mentioned, or prior to going live, you mentioned you attended Token 2049, and the growth from over the past 4 years continues to go up into trending up into the right. It sounds like, as it should, and it should mirror, that should indicate potentially the user adoption of these cold storage wallets, or the technology at the very least. Do you,
So
correct me if I'm wrong, if you
no,
would
no,
you
no, 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 because I think if we just look at the entire world, that because I mean let's just take an example as a Korea. There are 50 million people in population in Korea, but the cryptocurrency users are only taking probably less than 10%. That means the 90% of the entire population doesn't really know about what is a blockchain, and probably they don't even know what is the Web3 is all about. So that is sort of the potential that we need to monetize and to lessen to lecture so that they can sort of come to this blockchain, because which is a very very good.
Mhm.
And
Absolute
before I forget that, about the whipping, because there are also very good, nice feature for the service provider for the marketing purposes. Because as like a decent wallet, because the whipping is the self custody, which is our
okay.
basic philosophy. And this whipping wallet is going to offer sort of the dashboard where the service provider can check the detailed data of their user behavior,
Okay.
and this wallet as a service will boost the implementing Web3 service in Web2 company by sort of the airdrop event. Because as I mentioned that, just, sending your wallet address, generating the wallet address is a very troublesome for the newcomers. So this drop link, which is a service name, is going to create, or all you have to do is that you just have to send your email address to receive the airdrop.
Wow.
And we already gained this whipping service already success reference in Korea in many different industry, including the game community, ticketing, or P2P games, as well as a social platform. And we are ready to bring this service into the global level. So people who are watching this video and working at any company who wants to look for the Web2 services, please contact us for more detail, because I think you are showing this our contact information at the bottom of the screen, right?
Yes, I've been, I'll just flash up the contact at IoTrust.kr is your preferred email. For any
Yes.
questions, for those in the audience, feel free to reach out to WanKu's team directly. I appreciate you going into great details of the new product releases, and actually, if you don't mind, WanKu, I'd like to take this moment
Please play the Citibank. Yes.
well, no, no, not just yet, but also share. I've got a brand new Dcent hardware wallet that I'd love to give away to an audience member. And if you don't mind, WanKu, I'd love it if you would maybe match the match my hardware wallet, and give two out to some lucky guests. And for those who are tuning in live, for everyone who has left a comment or engaged with this video, is been entered into the raffle, which will spin the wheel at the very end of this. So if you don't mind, WanKu, I've got one right here to give away. If you don't mind matching me, that'd be a great, sir.
I think this is a very easy sort of the request for me to support. So I mean, I'm the manufacturer, and you are just giving me very wonderful opportunity to speak about us. So why
Okay.
don't I just sponsor two wallet instead of one?
Okay, awesome. So while we're going through these questions, if you don't mind, I'm going to be adding some names to the wheel of names that we'll play at the very end. But anyways, I appreciate you for matching me, and for being here, sir. This is great. Wonderful
Beating you,
opportunity.
I would say beating you, not matching you.
There we go. I like that. So for a total of three hardware wallets, and I appreciate that. It's all you guys heard it here. Anyways, let's talk about the driving force behind your biometric wallets, WanKyu. Obviously they're trusted by many. What inspired you and your team to incorporate the biometric features, especially with the cold wallets? Full transparency, I've got many hardware wallets here. I've got the Elipal, I've got your Dcent, of course, the Ledger, I've got the Stacks that I have yet to come out, open up, pull out of the box, because, well, it took 3 years to get here anyway, so it can just sit in the box for a little bit longer. But ultimately, how what inspired you to up your technology? Because I don't see any of your competitors incorporating biometric, or correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, yes, definitely. Because I think, looking back the 7 years after we launched Decent Wallet, wow, time flies. So one lesson that we learned was it is critical to earn the trust from the users, regardless what kind of wallet that you are offering. And this gaining the trust from the individual customer or the community cannot be done over a short period of time. Also, the solving the pain points those customers are facing in the complicated blockchain industry. So probably, let's just take an example that when this blockchain evolves very fast and difficult, and this is our mission for offer comprehensive or seamless user experience with security. So we
Okay.
believe that this user experience will help more users to use blockchain service. Now, I will just repeat the user experience many more times because this is one of the key areas that we are really focusing on. And when we decide to develop the blockchain wallet, the existing hardware wallet, their user experience was not that friendly based on our judgment. Like
Yeah.
they did have a very small screen and they had a limited wallet address to store. It's like a plug and play, and the pressing multiple buttons to confirm the transaction, which is and furthermore, all hardware wallet was working in the PC environment. So I saw many of the people just searching for the internet connection when they try to check their digital asset. So we try to solve those issues by the Dcent wallet that offers the mobility because we are the first one hardware wallet that connects with the smartphone to manage your digital
Mm.
currency. And there are multiple buttons up and down, okay, and cancellation for the easier sort of the data selection as well as a confirmation. And there's a larger screen that shows the full transaction detail in the single shot. Of course, since hardware wallet saves your private key, the security is the fundamental of the device where you
Yep.
offer the fingerprint authentication as well as a market proven secure chip. So now, from the global user perspective, they might not familiar with the Decent wallet, but uh, this is my mission that to gain trust as well as awareness. But the world first hardware wallet with the fingerprint authentication and Bluetooth, which is a sort of the title of the Decent wallet, really help
Mhm.
us to be where we are right now.
100%. I mean, that's why I love your tech. The whole process of being able to use
Right.
your thumbprint to verify transactions and then move in and out of the application. You have the in-app web browser, which is a game changer as well. That's the very interface that allows me to delegate assets to various node providers. Correct me if I'm wrong, but ultimately, there's some really interesting technologies that your app provides that aren't found anywhere else. So kudos to you guys. I'm very excited again to have you on this call and to be a user of Dcent. Moving on, I want to talk about how you guys anticipate or expect to meet the growing demand of the markets. I know that you have currently about 3,000 digital assets available on your application. We've heard Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, saying in the future that there's only going to be a handful in comparison to what are have been released to the market. What are your thoughts? Do you think there's validity there? How does Dcent expect to evolve and meet these growing demands?
I mean, I think, I really agree with, the XRP co-founder Garling's comment that, this blockchain or the chain is going to be, I would say, getting smaller by the
Yep.
few people. But one thing that I'm sure is that, we have to remember that the basic philosophy of the blockchain is the decentralization. In other words, that the single network or maybe one or two network cannot control the entire so-called economy. So hopefully that, maybe some good project is going to be survive. But
Hmm.
right now that I believe that this is a very, very early stage for the implementing the blockchain. So
Yeah.
maybe, supporting this a new network because market has to challenge and the user needs to I would say get trust the service that they are using for the certain network. So adding this new network has been our top priority to support the new network because, as I mentioned, that I was at the one of the conference in Singapore last week, and I noticed that quite new network has been already launched. Probably two
Mm.
distinguished network that I can remember is the smart contract in the Bitcoin layer, as well as the multi-chain aggregator or the network abstraction. Because the from the user perspective, that smart contract Bitcoin layer means that you can do those kinds of staking, and you can just earn the interest when they deposit, when they send your Bitcoin to the certain address or service provider's address. And the second one, the network abstraction or the multi-chain aggregator, is you do not have to worry about the which blockchain that you are going to use, because once you use this A chain, that it will support the multiple chain that are already connected. Because it shows that many projects are committed to overcome the existing issue of the
Mm.
current chain, and facing those new network is, I mean, supporting this new network is our development roadmap on top of the network that are not currently available to Dcent wallet. And of course, our ultimate goal is, we like to position as the single platform where all blockchain service can be managed, including the on and off ramp,
Yep.
exchange, NFT management, as well as the investment. But without seamless and the comprehensive user experience would be challenged to meet those objectives. So we have to focusing on improving the user experience in our platform. And lastly, engaging with the community is another key factor. We believe that supporting this network is a first step or maybe gate opener for us to support various debt as well as the NFT management feature in that network, which we are doing it right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was checking out your stats. I mean, you're already a present, or you have the presence in over 200 countries. You have processed more than $10 billion in transactions. You have well over 100 affiliate partners, including myself. I mean, these are proud numbers. Can you talk about
Thank
some
you
of these
for
some
bringing
of these?
out this very good statistics number, but still I'm hungry because,
Aren't we
as
all?
I mentioned that we targeted for the global market, because even though that there are decent user in more than 220 countries, and but as I just mentioned that if you just look at the United States market itself, that how many people are already aware of the blockchain and how many people are using the crypto management, because out of 300 or maybe 400 million million people, and this is considered as the our big potential market that I need to monetize. Of course, this gaining trust from the customer by the good customer support team as well as the friendly user service, and with the security know-how that embedded at the Dcent wallet, I think we are very confident that we could be the sort of the key player in the targeted countries in next few years. And
Wha-
also, in line with this, we are also focusing on another country on top of the USA, which is Japan. Because
Okay.
Japan geographically, they are very close to us, and they are considered as one of the sort of the key country, because government is fully supporting all these Web3 as well as the blockchain services. So that's why we decide to launch the new website as well as the mobile app in Android as well as iOS, as well as a user guide in full Japanese language, because you might know that the language barrier for the Japanese people are there. So that's why we try to offer the customized sort of the services so that they do not have to worry about the language issue.
That is one of the hurdles with well, working in blockchain. It's one of the pros and the cons, being able to tap into these global rails and markets instantaneously, but then now also having to overcome some of those obstacles, like you mentioned, language, regulations, and things of that nature. So, on that topic, have you guys experienced any friction in regards to regulations, or any insight that you would be willing to discuss that Dissent is preparing for?
I think, when it comes with the compliance or the regulation issue, that, you have to, I would say, follow the local regulation.
Mhm.
But luckily, that Dcent as well as the Wipin is a non-custodial wallet, because right now that full control is going to be fall under the user sort of the responsibility. That's why we are not, I would say, apply for those regulations. But I think this is really good that maybe custody wallet or the central exchange who are collecting the sort of the private information from the individual user, they need to comply for each regulation that each government is going to apply. But
Mhm.
let's see how it goes. But I don't think there is no regulation is going to be implemented for the non-custodial wallet, because we are just selling the hardware wallet that generate the private information by the user randomly. That means the full service ownership is going to be fall under the individual users. Yes.
Wonderful. Love to hear that. On the topic of government, I hope you don't mind me bringing this up, but I thought this was very interesting and relative to my earlier comments in regards to Ledger. Uh, if from a security standpoint, there was concerns about potentially Ledger having some kind of backdoor or a pathway allowing governments to subpoena the private keys of some of their users. What are your thoughts on this? Is this something that you think that is going to be standardized for all self-custodial wallets in order
Right.
to?
Frankly speaking, I really do not know that, how government is going to react, because, if you just, look at all the regulation that each country are implementing in
Mhm.
different country, there are, the difference between the each regulation. But to answer your question, that, there was a very big fire from the community about, when they introduced the new service as a key recovery, there was a big fire that, oh, they must have a backdoor to get your private information, so on
Yeah.
and so forth. But from my perspective, that if I was working at that company, I would say introduce that service with a completely different product name as well as a service name. Nothing to deal with the existing non-custody business that I am doing it since 2013. Because
Wow.
just looking at those sort of the statement from the community, I think they made a big mistake, that that service is really good, because quite number of people lose their private key and cannot recover their digital asset. So in that way, that they are really helping those customers in a good way. But opening or offering this same service, or that service, or key recovery service under the existing brand name together with the hardware wallet, which is a non-custodial, that was the mistake that they made, I personally believe.
Yeah, it was a bit. We'll just put a big question mark over that. Those turn of events. And
Yeah.
anyways, full transparency, I actually am an investor on Ledger, into Ledger, thanks to link to my former employer. So it's a it's a sensitive subject, but it, I guess, par for the course in this nascent industry. So uh moving on, if you don't mind, WanKyu, and I appreciate it. I know that we've got about a few more questions, and then I got to send you on your way here, sir. I know that you got a busy day ahead. Can you talk about the wallet recovery process and how Dcent Wallet's recovery process works if somebody were to lose their device? And why is the 24-word seed phrase so crucial?
So now, because when you just receive the decent wallet, the first thing that you have to do is that you have to set up your private key in
Mhm.
offline by yourself.
Okay.
And there's a market standard called as a BIP39, where there are 2054 word list that can be Google. And
Hmm.
this secure chip inside of the decent wallet will randomly select, this 24 word out of 2054. But when I just go in more deep, that there is private key in hash value contains a number and the character,
Okay.
which human cannot remember. That's why they just invented or introduced this international standard or market standard called as a BIP 39, that convert into the 24 sort of the readable word. So now when it comes with the recovery process, you have to do it in a backward. So now, I do not want to face the situation that I lost my hardware wallet, but first thing that you have to do is you have to get it the new one, and you have to enter 24 seed phrase words in the correct order,
Uh-huh.
and the new Dcent wallet. And for easier entry, that when you just enter the first three character, that Dcent wallet is going to show the list of the word. Then you can just select the right word that you wants to enter, right? And
Okay.
once this 24 seed phrase was entered, that Dcent will ask you to verify whether you have the correct word in the correct order. And once this verification is completed and your private key is restored, then you need to connect this new hardware wallet with your smartphone by the Bluetooth. And once this connection is done, you have to add all the existing account that you used to have, because the account is not going to be generated automatically, because the hardware wallet only kept the private key. Because if you just look at this overall sort of the process, that this wallet does not have any access or collect any users information, as key
Okay.
generation and account creation will be done by the users only. So in other words, at the same time, that this is a full responsibility that individual user take a sort of the proper management for managing their private key as well as a hardware wallet. This is a definition of the non-self custody.
Uh,
Non-custody wallet. Sorry, self custody. Yes.
You know what? I was emceeing and moderating event in Dallas last week, and you had the presence of Anchorage Digital. You had the presence of some tech-enabled banking applications, and then also some. Uh, yeah, let's just say you had some that thought were in the camp of institutional custody, and some that were in the camp of self custody. And I would love to dive a little bit deeper into this and talk about, as mentioned previously earlier in the conversation, that Citibank and other banks or traditional financial institutions are already coming out and showing their putting their stake in the ground, saying, hey, we're going to be using blockchain technologies. Do you see any potential partnerships with financial institutions? Do you look at them as competitors? What are your thoughts in regards to financial institutions getting into the fold and leaning into the blockchain sector? And I put onto the screen here a screenshot from Citibank's website of they introduced their CDAP program, their City Integrated Digital Assets Platform. And so, when you see the largest financial institutions in the world coming out and saying this, like, hey, we'll custody your assets, and you're the pioneer of self-custody biometric hardware wallet solutions. What how do you feel? What are your thoughts?
Because
And
let's
actually,
see.
how about before you
No, no,
you answer
no, it's
before
okay.
no
Let me
no
just
no no
answer this
no,
question because
before you do, let me play that little brief clip. That's 30-second clip by Citibank, so the audience can better understand also what I'm talking about, and allow you to collect some thoughts.
yes.
Thank you, sir.
Citi is partnering with clients on the future of digital money and securities, working towards an increasingly digital economy and an always-on financial system. The Citi digital assets teams are charting a path to build and launch blockchain-based solutions, unlocking efficiencies and new capabilities. Let's look at Citi's solution.
Introducing Citi Integrated Digital Assets Platform, CDAP, which enables innovative digital asset solutions through a single integrated platform using the power of blockchain.
So what does this make you
Technical
feel? How
issues,
does it
right?
make you think?
All right, because that is very good, so-called the indication that the service providers are really looking into this blockchain, right? And because if I'm just you get the user perspective, that market share for the digital asset user is probably less than 7%, approximately 560 people, 560 million in worldwide. And from the early frontier for the blockchain service, we are very pleased to see that banks and financial institution or other enterprise are getting involved with the digital asset management. And as I mentioned that, I was at the Token 2049 in Singapore, and there were quite number of players who are offering the debit card with the Visa and MasterCard logo, and that link to your crypto account directly. It
Yes.
means that you can use your crypto in real retail store. And we should not forget about the very big sort of the landmark event that it happened in early this year, which is an ETF approval for the Bitcoin as well as the
Mm,
Ethereum.
okay.
And it also indicated crypto is now adapting by the existing financial service provider like a BlackRock. And I'm hoping that this kind of trend is going to boost the blockchain mass adoption. But
Yeah.
I need emphasize that this is not a sort of the all or nothing game. There will be a loser. There will not be a loser or the winner, because each each party has their own role for the mass adoption. Because if you just look at the number of users that each one bank has, is definitely far bigger than what I already have. That means, there will be some, I would say, sort of the combination of this existing major player as well as the hardware wallet for non-custodial wallet service provider. But where I see is this financial institution is going to bring new users for the Web3 services. And among them, the heavy user would use the non-custodial wallet like a Dcent for the better security. But ultimately, that non-custodial wallet will be the mainstream business,
Mhm.
considering the blockchain philosophy, which is the decentralization.
I appreciate you taking that question on, because I know that it's a sticky one for many. It's a especially where you're concerned about parking your funds in this new nascent industry. But I wanted to the reason why I brought up your webpage was, and I want to double click on your partnerships, if you don't mind, because I know that you've already partnered with Avalanche, Algorand, Polygon, MoonPay. Would you mind talking about any other future partnerships that are on the horizon? Hedera Hashgraph as well. uh, uh, would you be inclined to discuss any partnerships at all?
No, 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 because definitely the partnership with those chains, widely open. But the
Mhm.
thing is, just supporting the existing network doesn't mean there is a real partnership.
Okay.
Because if you just look at the individual network or the chain, they do have a very unique feature or the mission to accomplish. For example, like in the Symphony Network XCC, they are focusing on implementing this blockchain into the logistics as well as a payment.
Mhm.
And probably Solana is more focusing on the payment side. So now
Mm.
uh, what Decent is trying to do is, on top of the supporting the native coin as well as a token, we just want to go in the deep, which is a vertical sort of the approach that we want to support from A to Z, all the services and all the unique feature that they are trying to achieve, so that we can position us as a key hardware wallet partner on each network. So now, coming back to the earlier statement that I already made, that Bitcoin, so my smart contract at the Bitcoin layer as well as a multi-chain aggregator, they are going to be our potential partner that we are trying to engage. But once these sort of the native coin as well as a token is supported, the next
Mhm.
action that Decent is going to take is deep dive into those ecosystem and trying to cover entire DeFi services as well as the NFT management from the single platform.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the NFTs, because that was something that caught my eyes and interest. Right now, there's obviously been a pullback in the market for NFT adoption or engagement, especially liquidity. What are your thoughts? Do you think there's still growth potential for NFTs, or is it more than just art? You guys have an application. What do you see the potential utility or use cases that your wallet provides for NFT holders? Could it be a wallet that they maintain the ownership of? Uh, uh, ownership, or was it the title of their real estate, or ownership of property aside from the art? Could it be medical records? What do you foresee the potential use cases of your NFT wallet or technology?
Okay. So now, I mean, the thing is, the as you mentioned that this current NFT market is really down compared with a few years back,
Yeah.
because it was really crazy that people who opened their wallet and paying more than 100,000 US dollar just for to buy the simple NFT. And I think there was a bubble, and that already resulted that the what is that, the Yuga Labs, the maker of the BAYC, is going restructuring process.
Mm,
Because the thing is, although that NFT market is really down right now, but I believe that NFT has a very unique value in blockchain, where the market is going to pick up in other ways, not like sort of the like bragging off that what is the NFT that you have that costs how much, because the value of the NFT supposed to be that it is a protecting and managing the intellectual property,
mhm.
and you share the profit with the IP owner, and it supports the uniqueness or non-fungible of the digital item, not trading purposes. Now, if you just look at the service provider and the project, they have they started to remember that what has to be done, and now they are trying to introduce the NFT to strengthen engagement with the customer, or the checking the digital authenticity, as well as
Okay.
a utility purpose. Because Saga made a very big noise probably last year that the Solana phone, and they issued a Genesis token, which is an NFT, is a very good example. Because to answer your question, that supporting various marketplace is going to be, I would say, supported by us. But when it comes with the utilizing NFT in the Web3 service area perspective, like a game or the metaverse or membership or
Mm.
community, I think the Whipping is going to be the more fit than the Decent wallet. Although, I mean, of course, if you have a certain NFT that you really wants to keep it in offline for the investment purposes, yes, Dcent is the sort of the solution that you need to go for it.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Hey, WanKyu, let's take a step back and talk about the security a little bit more, because I know there's some growing concerns about the Bluetooth functionality relative to hardware wallets. If you don't mind, basically giving a brief rundown of how Decent ensures that the Bluetooth connectivity doesn't compromise user security. And if
Yes. So
and then real quick, because I did see a question come through, which does seem relative from actually a fellow Team Apollo member, Greg Spar. And let's read it out loud. Please discuss the various levels of security vulnerability on my Dcent wallet, depending on connecting to blockchains, apps using Wallet Connect, MetaMask. Yeah, so let's just talk about Bluetooth and connecting to dApps, if
right.
you're okay with that.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So I would say in technical terminology that we call as a man in the middle attack, because
Mm,
the hacker gets the access the communication protocol between the hardware wallet and the Bluetooth, and trying to get the data, because probably that really concerns the customer, that whether their private key is going to be safe, or is there any chance that the hacker will have access for their private key information. Because probably to answer that, I need to go through the how this two device, smartphone as well as a hardware wallet, communicate and send those data into the blockchain network. Because now you all know that your hardware wallet is needed when you send the crypto to other address. The confirmation is needed.
yeah.
And when after user enter the transaction details such as address, gas fee, so on and so forth, and you just scan your fingerprint to confirm the transaction. And once this transaction is requested by scanning the fingerprint, the secure chip inside of the wallet will check whether this data is matching with the registered data. And when this data is matched, hardware wallet will send the data to Bluetooth to, hardware wallet will send the data through the Bluetooth to the smartphone. And this data between the wallet and the device is yes or no. In other words, that hardware wallet is not going to send the raw data or any forms of data of the private key by the Bluetooth. So
Wow.
for the worst case, that if the hacker has access to this communication path, only information that they can get is whether the data is correct or wrong. So in that case, that you do not have to worry about any kind of concern about the Bluetooth security, because once again, the secure chip is going to store your private key in encrypted and never exposed to the external world in any circumstance. But
Yeah.
probably, another tip that I need to, I would say, give it to you is when you just, send the when you just, send the crypto to the other address, please make sure to check the hardware wallet screen about the full transaction detail, whether the address and the amount is correct compared with your mobile app.
Oh man, that is some wonderful instructions, and it, it it can't be understated, WanKyu, because in this fast-paced life that we live, underpinned by self-directed investing into these alternative investment asset class called crypto, it's fast, and so we just gotta slow down and take a deep breath and then make sure that we are reading the entire wallet, or even at the bare minimum, writing it out in a safe place. And so there's just things that people can't overlook for if our financial well-being is dependent on it. It's necessary to take all measures in place. And again, I just want to bring up a comment that I read earlier from Rod Rangel. Thanks for tuning in, sir. Man, I really like what I'm hearing from you, WanKyu. You're uh, this is very timely and reassuring, sir. Now, before I let you go, there's a few more questions. We already played the Citibank, and so I'm glad that we touched base on those. We mentioned about the 111 affiliate partners that you have. So there is an affiliate program for those that are in the audience that might be enticed to support with the overall globalization movement for Dcent. Can you talk about how anybody who may be interested can become a potential affiliate for Dcent?
Yes, definitely. So I think, the correction has to be made because, we do have a more than 400 affiliate sort of the partner in.
400.
Yes, worldwide. And still that, I really like to, I would say, increase this number, very aggressively because once again that, getting the sort of obtaining the trust from the individual user is a very challenging force. But if you are watching one of the YouTube channel for very long period of time, it already shows that trust level between your community members at the channel has been already established. And when this YouTuber or the key influencer got convinced that, okay, maybe this is a perfect wallet for use it, and maybe this is one of the best wallet that I could recommend to my customer, our starting point is gonna be far, I would say, better than from the sort of the ground. That's why, I am definitely open for the more engaging with the more partnership with the affiliate, probably your YouTubers or the blog or our website. Just send us an email about your channel details so that we can discuss about the affiliate program.
Wonderful. Thank you for explaining that. And for those in the audience who are watching live today or later, there is a 10% discount savings code in the description or comment section below. So thank you very much, WanKyu, for the opportunity to partner with Dcent and rally behind what I believe in. Now, before I let you go here, we've talked about all the great things comparing institutional custody versus self-custody. New product releases. Actually, we didn't really talk about any potential new product releases. Would you be willing to discuss or share any new products or features coming down the pike?
Uh, I think, this hardware wallet is not like, just in a normal consumer device that you will see the new product in every single year. Maybe indeed that, Apple already launched the new iPhone and people already criticize that, there's a no revolution, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But especially when it comes with this hardware wallet, I would say that, I mean, you need to be very, very conservative because
Mhm.
I rather focusing on the, I would say, more features or maybe user experience rather than the different looking or different hardware wallet, because that is our first strategy. And of course, I cannot reveal that, our internal plan because that is sort of the confidential. But as soon as we are going to make a, I would say, sort of the new product into the market. You will see those announcements in various channels. And I'm really sorry that I cannot reveal very detailed schedule about the new product or the services that we are going to launch. But
Oh,
keep in mind that you will see, I would say, sort of the new service that is gonna be happen in the mobile app where
okay.
that user can do the direct staking without going through the service provider, and
Mm,
there will be a new another feature called as a so-called exchange or the swap, because many people really do not know the difference between the swap and exchange. So we are going to combine these two services into the single service where that you don't have to worry about whether this is a swap or exchange, and do not have to worry about the which token that they have to choose. And of course, at least, I mean, lastly, that there's another tab called as an insight where the sort of the hottest sort of the token in the last 7 days or the one day is going to be listed that help
okay.
you to maximize your sort of the investment. Yes.
Wow. Wow, exciting. Thank you very much for that, WanKyu. And knowing that you're just kickstarting your day, I hope that's a double espresso that you're drinking over there.
Yes.
Wonderful, sir. Hey, last question here, and I know that you've shared. We're actually winding down the hour here, so thank you very much, WanKyu. And it's been a pleasure and privilege because your team is supporting significantly in the comments, putting up some wonderful facts for those that are interested in learning more about Dcent. If you don't mind, would you be able to provide any advice to the news user community for those that might be getting their toe wet in the digital asset sector, or that might be interested, in exploring Dcent or the
Okay, sure.
cold storage self custody wallet sector?
Yeah, sure, sure. So, I mean, down the road that, we all know that blockchain is a sort of the new way to change the entire world, and investing crypto in this time considered as a sort of the privilege. And, but the thing is, considering all the negative issue like a hacking or, certain exchange, shut down their service, you better make sure that you have a full control or ownership of the private key. So once again, that very simple term, that not your key, not your crypto. So probably the few tips that I can share is when you just scan your fingerprint at the hardware wallet, make sure that use dry finger and cover entire fingerprint sensor entirely, and they will have to recognize your sort of the recognition during the sort of the transaction confirmation. And the bottom line is never share your seed phrase in any circumstances, including the decent wallet, because we know that there are quite number of scammers channel in SNS, including the Twitter as well as the Telegram. And once they just set up claiming that they are the decent or decent support team, and once this DM channel is set up, they are asking to you to share the private key to get a technical support. But once again, never share this private key in any circumstances, even including us. And we do not give a technical support by the SNS channel. We only receive and send our reply by the email, which you already see. And the second thing is do your homework. I mean, use a service that you know and trust, because there are quite number of scammer services that authorize or confirm the wallet connection via any kind of certain link or the QR code. And once you're done, that means you are giving your authority to that service provider. That means they have a full right to send your crypto to the other address without your confirmation. So if you are not sure about the which service that you are using, please do not use it.
Yes,
And
well said.
yes, and
Y-
the using this hardware wallet is not that easy. I mean, even like thousands of different DeFi services and NFT management, so on and so forth. So when you just have any kind of question or the issue, just drop us an email because our internal target is sending our reply within 1 business working day. So any
I, I don't-
question?
I don't know
Yes.
about that, WanKyu. The Dcent hardware wallet is the easiest to use.
But trust me, because there are quite number of inquiry that we are receiving that what can I do, so on and so forth. But the thing is, I do when I just look at the other community channel about the other hardware wallet service provider, and they are really concerned that whether when they will going to get any kind of reply from this wallet provider. So that is the probably distinguished point that I need to highlight, because if you just look at the our Amazon sort of the customer review, that our review is very very healthy, and you will see that quite a number of customers are very happy about what we are doing in terms of a technical support as well as a commercial support. But keep in mind that we are only communicating with the customer by the email. Yes.
Wonderful. That's good to know. So Dcent will not be sending you any direct messages asking for you to send any
No,
keys or crypto or
never.
D for all the above. Thank you for that, WanKyu. Well, this has been a very productive and enlightening, and also just a really enjoyable conversation, WanKyu. So I appreciate you for hopping in. We've gone through all the questions and some. So thank you for sharing your time and expertise with myself and those in the audience, my community. For those who did join today and engage, left comments in the chat, I did organize a list of those participants, and I'll be spinning the wheel of names here for three lucky winners of a Dcent hardware wallet. If you don't mind, WanKyu, I'm just going to give this a quick spin here. Three quick spins. So let's give it a go. You guys can't hear. There's a little sound going on in my headphones right now, but regardless, it's you'll still feel like a winner when I read off here. Bob Fed, thanks for tuning in,
Ah,
sir.
yes.
Bob, got yourself a brand new Dcent hardware wallet. I'm going to remove Bob from the list. Bob, put him down here. Give it another spin. We've got two more to go. Oh, Wall Street Oracle. Wonderful. Okay. And one more. WanKyu, thank you very much for giving out two more
You.
Dcent hardware wallets. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you. Oh, is David a winner? David? Oh, David Rutledge. All righty. So I'll be following up with all three lucky winners after this live stream here. But WanKyu, just wanted to say thank you so much for just, again, the alpha that you shared today and just the wonderful technology that you guys offer to the world. I can't stress enough how much or how satisfied I am with Dcent's hardware wallet, and plus that in-app browser is just something I can't just tell you how easy that made the whole process of being able to delegate or stake assets within the app. So thank you very much. If there's any final comments or anything else that you'd like to say before we shut this down right now, or
Nada. And
nada?
it is
All righty.
my pleasure. It is my pleasure to meet you and see one of the happy customer of the Dcent. And hopefully
Yes.
that you will support what we have. I mean, what we are trying to do. And maybe in the near future that I hope to see you in person somewhere in the United States. And wish for the best luck and best success for your channel.
Yes, absolutely. Hopefully, we do another in-person interview at the next
Oh,
upcoming XDC event or
yes,
another leading chain. But thank you, WanKyu. I'm gonna drop you down to behind the stage again, and I'm gonna close things out. If you don't mind holding on for just one more minute, when we close, I'm gonna play the outro
sure.
video. Appreciate you, sir.
Okay.
Let's thank you. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you all had a great time tuning in today and learned something in regards to Dcent and the world of cold storage, biometric hardware wallets. Thanks again. I'll be back next week with another exclusive live stream. I'll be sitting down with Stephen Blanc, co-founder of Reclosure, also known as Propto. Propto has developed an interesting tokenizing engine or technology platform, D for all the above. And we'll be diving into the weeds of how their technology transforms real estate investments and transactions. Also, Propto is domiciled in Ireland. So this is going to be another later in the afternoon international live stream production. And I can't wait for it. I appreciate you again all for stopping by and tuning in today. I hope you learned something just like I did. And again, love you mucho. Thank you.